How's it going, everyone? My name is Jim, and welcome to FSD Driver. Today, we are going from Whole Foods to Stillwater, Minnesota. Very close, not a long drive. Well, it kind of is a long drive. I think this video is about 10 to 15 minutes long. So if you want to stay around for it, you definitely can. Right away here, I do have my first intervention with the actual car. So right now, this intersection, it's kind of a weird one where there's like a double intersection with a split and another double. So we're just sitting here. Now there's a car coming, but we're just kind of waiting here for no reason. And we would have already have gone. So the car just kept sitting there. So right there, I intervened. And what I did is I just pressed on my accelerator, go, please go. I'm constantly saying that to the car. But that's pretty much it for the intervention of this drive. Very simple, very easy. It takes me all the way to my destination. It took me through a couple parts that it struggled with, and now it actually works in version 12.3, which we are driving today. So super excited about that. There is another little hiccup here as well. When it goes on the highway and we come to an off-ramp, it basically can't decide what lane to get into. So it kind of rides the center and just keeps wiggling the wheel back and forth. Like it can't really decide where it's going. And then the person behind me looks upset, especially when they turn their head on the passenger side. Like, what are you doing? So just minor little things like that. Would I say it's a safety thing? Absolutely not. It's just the car's indecision of where it's actually going. Plus, a little bit of this is the lines are pretty faint on that. Like, even a good driver, if you haven't been in that area, you're probably going to drive down the center too, because you can't really see the lanes. It needs to get repainted. It's pretty new on ramp as well, or off ramp, but it needs to get painted. And so if you weren't from this area, you would be like, oh, I didn't know it split into two lanes until you got up to the traffic light. So that's my little rant there. But other than that, FSD 12.3 has been phenomenal, and you don't really need to do anything with the vehicle. It really just self-drives you, and you're just there to kind of assist it if you need it. But the assistance has gone down so much, even from version 11. I don't need to do the acceleration pedal. Yes, I had to do it for this one, but even in 11 would never have made that intersection turn at all. I would always have to disengage it there. So again, a lot of the videos that I'm going to be shooting, I'm going to find the trouble spots, and I think I'm going to start getting some drone footage just to show you guys like an overhead view of where it kind of struggles, and maybe even Tesla can collect some of that data. It handles this off ramp perfectly. It knows it needs to get into the left lane, puts its blinker on, accelerates. And that's the one thing that I really like about this version 12.3 is there's no hesitancy to accelerate to the speed limit. Before, I felt like it was a sluggish thing. Like it would take me forever to get up to 30 miles an hour. Now it's just like, oh, the speed limit's 30. I did my stop sign, came to my full stop. Now I need to go to 30. And it doesn't jolt you back into your seat, but it does a nice aggressive acceleration. That a normal person would do, like a normal drive. That's how you drive. So it feels smooth. And that's something that I keep hearing from a lot of people is things feel smooth. It accelerates. It kind of feels like you're floating through traffic, like you normally would. This thing drives better than I drive. So again, it sees more things than I can see because I only have two pairs of eyes that look forward, and it sees everything around me, and it's phenomenal. It just doesn't make mistakes. It drives extremely well on highways. I would highly recommend this to anyone. Now, here's the thing. I tell this to a lot of people who disagree with the full self-driving and say, hey, it's not safe. I cannot stop the 17-year-old girl next to me from texting, but I would rather see her texting in a Tesla with full self-driving than what she's doing in a ICE vehicle where she doesn't have any control or any assistance to stay in her lane, because I can't make her stop texting. It's just a thing that is going to happen. So I'd rather it happen in the safest vehicle using actual technology where the computer is actually screaming at you to take control of the wheel, or disengaging its full self-driving, giving you a strike system. Those are the things that I actually like. I see those as huge safety benefits to full self-driving, because even in this drive, we passed a car back there and it was a teenage girl texting, and she's not looking at the road. She keeps looking down at her phone. And also, I know you can't see this, but in my rear view mirror, she's also crossing lanes without a blinker. And so that's where I'm always like, why wouldn't you have this in every single vehicle? Obviously, the answer is stop the texting and driving, but people aren't going to do it. We have laws against it. The laws don't work. It only works when they get a ticket, and then they just end up doing it again anyways. So at least they could be in a vehicle that can actually maintain control and yell at them to take control of the wheel and to stop texting. Now, this is the off ramp that I basically have an issue with. Now, we're basically in 2 lanes right now. It needs to turn left, and right here, it can't really see these center lanes, and so it's trying to decide, and now it sees it, and now it moves over, and it gets into the correct left-hand turn lane. Honestly, though, it didn't need to move over. It could have been in either one of these, because it should know that our drive still has some distance. There's 2 left-hand turn lanes. We're not going to clog up anybody. So it's just a little finicky there. Again, I don't assist it. I just let it go, let it learn, and it handles that very, very well. All right, so I cut the footage here because it's just such a smooth drive and it's a long way to get here, but we're next to the Lake Elmo Airport, again in Minnesota, and this actually really surprised me. So 2 things are coming up here. There's a train track that's coming up, and it actually slows down for the train track, which I've never experienced before. And that's what I normally would do. So here it is. You can look at my miles per hour. They start to go down. It slows down. We go over the train track, and then it starts to catch up again with its speed. That was like phenomenal. I've never witnessed that before, and so I was really excited about that. Now, this traffic light here, I've had nothing but issues in version 11, and I still actually have the same issue in version 12, where I can never make this turn. I've yet to make this turn successfully in any version of FSD. Right now, the light is green. I have a flashing yellow left hand. It turns yellow, then it turns red, and then my car just decides to sit there. And so right now what you're seeing is me stepping on the accelerator, because first off, I have this emotion of embarrassment because like my car is stopping in the intersection. And then the other thing is people are looking, and I'm like, I can't sit out in this intersection. The other light is turning green, and I know traffic going the other direction is typically going about 50 miles an hour. So it's not safe. I have yet to get that light. Like, I just can't do it. I've tried it many times. It happens all the time. So eventually I'll get there. Again, I would love to drone that to show you guys like a top-up view. But the reason I can't do it is because there's an airport right next to it, and I don't have the clearance to basically film with a drone that close to their airspace. So it's a hard intersection. I can't get over it with my car. Again, it didn't work on version 11. It didn't work again on version 12. But the rest of this drive, everything is completely fine. So basically 2 interventions, a bad intersection at the Whole Foods in my town, and then in Stillwater or Lake Elmo, I can't make that intersection on any version of the car. So I hope it gets better and it learns over time. I didn't have enough time today, but there's been times where it's failed at an intersection. And then what I do is I try to manually just re-loop around and try it again. And typically the second time it gets it. So I'm not sure what causes it the first time, but it ends up getting defeated typically the second time. I really wanted to, this whole ride back, is just turn around, try that intersection again. Maybe I won't catch that yellow to red light while I'm in the intersection, but then again, it should act like a human. I'm already in the intersection. The lights are red. Nobody's moving. Just go. Get out of the intersection. So that's just my thoughts on there. Again, the rest of this drive on version 12.3 is smooth all the way home. Anyways, I'm going to cut the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you would, like and subscribe. I'm actually upgrading my system, so we'll get some better views of the FSD screen. And then I'm going to try out some other different camera angles and things like that. And again, I want to incorporate some drones into areas where the car struggles. But again, it's really hard to put this stuff together and get home and then find out, hey, guess what? There's a software update. And then you can kind of just throw all that out because there's a new version and they have, you know, new things inside of it. So anyways, again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Peace.